Welcome back to my channel EQ. Today I am going to teach a poem for class 8. Name of the poem is Geography Lessons by Julfikar Ghosh. This poem is available in Honeydew, prescribed by NCERT. Students, how would the earth or the city you belong to look like? Suppose you are traveling in an aeroplane. Similarly, the poet's experience is as such. The poet Julfikar Ghosh had an experience while once he was traveling in an aeroplane, and how the earth looks like above the ground from different altitudes through the window of the aeroplane. This experience has been shared by the poet with us. First, about the poet, that is Julfikar Ghosh. Julfikar Ghosh is poet, essayist and novelist. He was born in the year 1935, probably 13 March, and he was born in Sialkot in pre-independent India. Now he is living in Texas, and most of the literary works of Julfikar Ghosh evolve, that is magical realism and blending of fantasy with that of high realism. He is an essentially humanitarian by nature. He is an advocate of humanism. He vehemently opposes racism and any sort of discrimination based on caste, creed, clan and community. He is deeply shocked if the men have developed hatred towards men. Now, the present poem, that is, I am going to teach you the geography lessons. First, I would like to start with the synopsis. The poem Geography Lessons, written by Julfikar Ghosh, is a thought-stirring poem, a thought-stirring one. The poet tries to see how the earth looks like from different altitudes while he was in a jet. Finally, that is in final stanza, it is difficult for the poet to understand or comprehend why men have developed hatreds towards men and why the feelings of humans are being narrowly walled. That is the questions he has thrown to us, as it is not clear to the poet. Now I like to make you understand stanza wise. Let's see the first stanza. In the first stanza, poet tries to say, when the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. The very opening line states the airplane or the jet sprang, lifted into the sky, and it was clear the city had developed, but city had developed not according to plan but according to its necessity. And naturally, this city was looking like haphazard, unsystematic, inconsistent, incongruous, without any style. And this is happened when it seemed to be 6 inches to the mile. Here, according to the scale of the map, 1 mile is 6 inches. So when the earth is viewed from the ground or above the ground, that is in mile, that is 6 inches to the mile, the earth looks like that all. Now, in the very first stanza regarding the rhyme scheme, you know how to determine the rhyme scheme. The end word of each line, if rhymes with that is called successive line, then it will be AA. But here it does not follow. Let's see, sky, city, had and smile. So here, if we actually trace on according to the accent or pronunciation, you put the letter A, that is sky. It does not rhyme immediately with city, that is called B, then had again C, then mile again A, and inability, that is sky and mile, inability. Again it will be D, and looked in such a way there is no particular regular way of rhyming scheme. Even style and sky, even repetitions of the first word with the last word of the same stanza. This way the rhyming scheme is followed. Another thing happened here, that is enjambment. Where the enjambment is there, just you look. In the third lines of the first stanza, seeing it scale the 6 inches into the smile, that seemed an inability about what on ground had looked haphazard. So right from here, there seemed an inevitability. Inevitability means unavoidable, non-stop, unavoidable, according to necessity. Haphazard means inconsistent, incongruous. So here the enjambment means when the particular line carried through to the, that is called following lines without pause or punctuation marks, and it happens with that. And here another things you can notice here, some words which is called alliteration here also follows, sprang into the sky. The S sound, it is not, the alliteration does not mean that whole phrase or the group of words will be, it depends on sound. So here S sound and S sound, this is an example of alliteration. In Hindi it is called Anupras Alankar, repetitions of the same sound at the beginning. So S and S. The final analysis of the first stanza is such that poet has shared experience with us when this jet is above just 1 mile, which is equal to 6 inches, and the earth looks like not consistent, rather haphazard or disarrayed, not arrayed at all. That is all about the first stanza. And now let's move to the second stanza. Now, where physical features of the earth have been shown differently from the different points of view, from the different altitudes. Now the same jet plane happens to soar or lift, that is, particular, that is 10,000 feet. Then how the earth looks like. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities, where the rivers ran, and why the valleys were populated. The logic of geography, that land and water attracted man, was clearly delineated. And when the jet reached 10,000 feet, so here the difficult word seems to be, that is delineated. Delineated means well explained, or what way it is explained clearly or stated clearly. And now based on your knowledge of, that is, ancient civilizations, every civilization, maybe the Harappan, maybe the Indus, maybe the Nile civilization, all are actually river centric. Where the river is there, that is, civilizations have developed. And here this is clear, or this was clear to the poet. The country had developed cities, rivers ran, even agriculture followed, population, substantial population growth happened. When there is just water bodies here. So here water bodies are sources of water there, and water is an elixir to life. Water is called our lifeline. So where water is there, so naturally the growth, agricultural growth, population, all will be there. So land and water attracted man to develop, to populate. So this was really happening here. And this is the logic of geography. According to the logic of geography, where the water is there, and land means here the fertile lands is there. Due to the water, then the land will be full of greenery, and will be, that is also filled with the all types of the sources that are available for the livelihood of men, that will be there due to this availability of the water bodies. This is all about the second stanza, where it will be viewed from the 10,000 feet above. Now in the third stanza, and I just would like to refer back, in the second stanza also the rhyming scheme is also same with that of the first stanza. And regarding alliteration, the way I have told you to explain, that is also followed in the, that is called second stanza. Even enjambment means the particular without pause or punctuation marks, if the lines are carried to the successive lines without punctuation mark, that is enjambment. And this enjambment is also being followed in the second stanza as well, some of the cases. Now in the third stanza, when the jet rose 6 miles high, and it was clear the earth was round, and that it had more sea than land, but it was difficult to understand that the men on the earth found courage to hate each other, to build walls across cities, and to kill from that height. It was not clear why. In this particular last stanza, or the final stanza, when the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear that the shape of the earth was completely, that is, round, which we know. All we have, those who have also geographical bit sense of knowledge, they might be knowing earth was round. So similar knowledge and experience that has been with whom? With the poet, earth was round. And it had more sea. It has been crystal clear. This earth actually constitutes more water bodies than land. But one thing seems to be very difficult, not clear at all, to understand, to comprehend. That we, the humans, are inhabitant of this earth, and only to facilitate our ground. That's why physical barriers, that is, geographical barriers are needed. Otherwise, one identity is with us, all we are human beings. So being human beings, we will be actually swayed by that universal feelings, that is the clarion call of humanity. So being human beings, being the most rational beings, why we have developed hatred towards men? Why we have developed hatred towards fellow brethren or fellow men? That is very difficult to understand for the poet. While he was on the above the ground of the earth and earth found. So this is not the clear for the poet to understand. Why the human beings, feelings of the human beings, emotions are being walled narrowly by so many barriers. Why the human beings are mercilessly killing for other human beings only to actually fulfill their vested narrow interest? That is not clear at all. Being a human beings, one of the clear perspective also, the sense of humanism, that today really we are lacking in. That's why problems have multiplied, problems are cropped up, that the poet has appealed all the poets. The humanism will be the main song of our soul, but it is not clear. The men have developed day by day hatred. Men are being narrowed down, or the world, by so many barriers: caste, creed, clan, community, national barrier, international barrier, so many barriers emotionally there exist. That is not welcome for human beings. Actually, they are the problem solver, but being the problem solvers, they have created problems, only being narrowed world by such barriers. So this is all about the detailed analysis of the three stanza. Each stanza comprises 8 lines, and this is all about the analysis of the poem. So thank you, all the best.